The most stylish people you know are probably spending less than you think, not because they are cheap, because they figured out one thing most people never do. They stopped buying things that cost a lot and started buying things that are worth a lot. There is a difference, and one tiny daily habit is the exact line between the two. Most people cross it by accident. The ones who do it on purpose keep hundreds of dollars every single month. Look, this is not about cutting everything you enjoy. It is not about wearing the same thing every day or living like a minimalist monk. This is about one small shift in how you think before you spend. A shift that takes 3 seconds. And saves serious money without making your life feel smaller. Most people spend money on things that feel good for one day and sit untouched for 3 years. Not because they are bad with money. Because nobody ever gave them a simple way to decide before the purchase, not after. This video is going to show you the one frugal chic habit that changes every spending decision you make in 2026. Simple, fast, and it works immediately. And at the end, I am going to show you the exact number that will make you never look at a price tag the same way again. Once you see it, every purchase will feel completely different. Stay till the end because this number alone is worth the whole video. But before I show you the habit, you need to understand why most people overspend even when they are trying not to. Because the problem is not willpower, it is one number that your brain is trained to focus on. The wrong number. Think about the last thing you bought that you barely use. Maybe a piece of clothing, maybe a gadget, maybe something for the house. When you bought it, it felt like a good deal. The price seemed fair. Maybe it was even on sale. But here is the problem. Your brain is trained to look at price, not value. And price is the most misleading number in any purchase decision. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University studied how people evaluate purchases. They found that focusing on the upfront price consistently leads to worse financial decisions than focusing on long-term value. The brain treats a low price as a win, even when the item never gets used. Here is the shift that changes everything. Forget the price. Calculate the cost per use instead. Cost per use is simple. Take the price of the item, divide it by how many times you will actually use it. That is the real cost. A $30 shirt you wear twice costs $15 per wear. A $100 shirt you wear 50 times costs $2 per wear. The expensive shirt is actually cheaper. This one calculation rewires how your brain sees every single purchase. Suddenly a cheap item that sits in a drawer is the most expensive thing you own. And a quality item you use every day becomes the best deal in your life. But knowing the formula is only half of it. Here is what happens inside your brain right before you buy something, and why most people skip the calculation completely even when they know better. So the cost per use formula exists. Most people have heard some version of it, but they still do not use it. Why? Because the moment you are about to buy something, your brain is not thinking clearly. It is doing something else entirely. Think about the last time you bought something impulsively, online or in a store. That moment right before you clicked buy or walked to the register. How did it feel? It felt good. Almost exciting. That feeling is dopamine. And it is not coming from owning the item. It is coming from the anticipation of owning it. Neuroscientists at Stanford University found that the brain releases more dopamine in anticipation of a reward than after receiving it. The excitement peaks right before the purchase, not after. That is why so many things feel less exciting the moment you get them home. And companies know this. Every sale notification, every limited time offer, every low stock warning, these are all designed to spike your anticipation dopamine right before you decide, not to help you to rush you past the thinking stage. The result? Most people buy on peak dopamine and regret on zero dopamine. The excitement disappears the moment the purchase is complete, and the item sits unused while the money is already gone. The frugal chic habit creates one simple pause between the dopamine spike and the purchase decision. Just long enough for your brain to ask one question, and that question changes everything. So your brain is being hijacked right before every purchase. And here is the one question that breaks the cycle completely, and the tiny habit built around it that saves serious money starting today. So dopamine rushes you, price tag misleads you, and most purchases happen before your brain even has a chance to think. Here is the habit that fixes all of it in 3 seconds flat. Before every purchase, ask one question. Will I use this 30 times? That is it. One question, 3 seconds, 30 uses. If the answer is yes, buy it. If the answer is no or maybe, put it back. Walk away. Wait 24 hours. If you still want it the next day and you can honestly say 30 uses, then decide. This is called the 30 use rule, and it is one of the simplest and most powerful spending filters ever created. Here's why 30 is the number. Behavioral economists found that most impulse purchases get used fewer than 5 times. The brain overestimates future use by a factor of 6. You think you will use it constantly. Reality is you use it twice and forget it exists. 30 uses forces your brain to be honest. You cannot fake 30. You have to actually imagine 30 separate moments where this item is useful in your real life. Most impulse buys cannot survive that question, and the ones that can are genuinely worth buying. Studies on intentional spending show that people who use a simple decision filter before purchases reduce unnecessary spending by 30 to 40% on average. Not by restricting themselves, just by asking one honest question before the money moves. So now you have the formula and the question. Here is exactly what the daily habit looks like so you can start using it today. Every time you are about to buy something, pause for 3 seconds. Ask one question: will I use this 30 times? If yes, check the cost per use. Divide the price by 30. If that number feels fair for what you are getting, buy it. If no, put it back and wait 24 hours. That is the whole habit. 3 seconds. One question. Every single purchase. Most people who start this find they spend 30 to 40% less within the first month without feeling restricted at all. So here is what we covered in this video. Your brain focuses on price, not value. And that one habit costs you hundreds every year. Dopamine rushes you past the thinking stage before every purchase. And 1 3-second question. Will I use this 30 times? Breaks the whole cycle and saves serious money starting today. But here is something I did not tell you at the start. Spending less is only one side of the equation, because the money you just saved still needs somewhere to go. $1 with no plan disappears just as fast as a bad purchase. Watch this video right now. It shows you the 1-2 minute habit that gives every saved dollar a job before it moves. That is where real cash flow starts to build. I will see you there.